Story 1. AITA for telling my father he should try being a better dad to his younger kid instead of screwing her over too. My father wasn't a great parent to me, 17M, and my sister, 19F. He never showed up for any of our school plays or games. He never took the time to just spend with us, either as a family or as a father and his son and daughter. 3 years ago, we found out my father had an affair, and he had a kid who was 3 years old at the time. My mom ended their marriage, and my father moved in with the affair partner and married her once the divorce from mom was finalized. My sister and I were already done with our relationship. She had to spend custody time with him for a year and was around his wife before she was his wife and his other daughter in that time. But then she ended all contact when the courts gave her permission. I needed to go to him for custody until last year when the courts let me stop it. And I did stop it. His daughter was really confused by it all. She was told my sister and I were her siblings, but we did not make an effort to know her or be in her life. My father and her mother pumped her full of hope that we'd be close. My sister and I want no relationship. Now, my father's wife brings her daughter to my football games, and she has shown up to dance competitions I take part in too. Her daughter gets so excited to see me, but I never want to see her at them. I try to be nice, but I'd rather not talk to her at all. My father showed up once or twice too. When I ignore them, I see how much it hurts the kid. She saw my sister last month when I had a dance thing, and my sister refused to look over their way and left as soon as she could. I could see my father's daughter crying, and yes, I know she's technically my half-sister. I have no love for her, no interest in being her brother, no wish to have a family life with her. I don't blame her. I blame him. But she means nothing to me, so I call her my father's daughter instead. My father knows. And after the dance thing last month, I reached out to him for the first time in a year, and I told him he should try being a better dad to her and stop letting these games be played. I told him we'll never want her, and he knows that. So he should protect her and focus on giving her a good life instead of putting us in a position to be dicks and ignore her or to make her more hopeful. He ranted and raved at me that we made him sound like a worse dad than he was to us. And he said my sister and I are no better because we have a responsibility to our younger sibling. I quickly told him that we did not make her choose her or accept any responsibility for her, but he made us, which made him responsible. And that's why he should do better. I had to end the call and block him because he went crazy down the phone at me. But he saw me when I was out with friends and he ranted at me some more and told me I shouldn't have said what I did. AITA. Story 2. AITA for telling my brother to listen to his kids instead of trying to make things to work. My brother was married for many years and had 3 children with his ex-wife. 7 years ago, they divorced. 4 years ago, my brother got serious with his current wife, and they have 2 children together, one born and another on the way. My brother's children from his relationship with his ex-wife are now all teens to young adults, 19 and under. It was pretty clear from the get-go that the kids weren't okay with him remarrying. They pulled back and he followed after them so they wouldn't withdraw too much. He made the effort to get them and his wife on good terms, then to come to terms with new babies on the way. No matter what my brother does, the kids are not okay with it. And they told him to his face that they don't want a stepfamily, so they're choosing to not have a relationship with him. He has ignored this and he continues to chase them. He tried therapy, but the kids refused to participate. They went physically but said nothing. He has tried going out with all the kids to eat and encouraging them to interact with the youngest, but they didn't. Now 2 of them no longer go to his house at all and make 0 effort to stay in touch, while the younger of the 3 goes only when legally obliged to and uses all their time doing other things so they are not with them. The reason for all this is they do not see blended families as real families. They don't want to be in one, don't want to accept siblings that are not full-blooded siblings, and do not want to have a parent spouse in their lives. Nothing and nobody can change their minds. They do not see blended families as a positive or even a neutral thing. It's all negative to them. That's a whole thing that I won't go into too much, but they told my brother this. So when he spoke to me recently about how sad it makes him, I empathized with him and offered him a shoulder to lean on and support. I told him he did all he could to make it work. And when he said he just didn't know what to do, that's when I told him he needs to start listening to the kids instead of trying to make things work. I reminded him the kids have been very clear about their feelings on his remarriage and additional kids, and if they did not get your dad removed from their will. His actions and your grandparents' decision did that. This is especially true if they've threatened to remove him from their will in the past. Your father sounds like a piece of work if he blames his daughter and not his infidelity for his divorce. You may have asked your grandparents to take your sister, but you did so because you thought that it was the best for her, especially in light of her having run away from home. I do hope that you've at least discussed this with her, because otherwise you're just setting her up for another round of trouble. Up's response: I have discussed it with her. She's happy to move in with them because she gets to stay near friends and at the same school. She'd probably be happiest if I moved to London and she could live with me, but that's not possible on our end.